Tell me if this sounds familiar. You get a new project and then you spend hours eyeballing and tweaking the designs and page layouts until they look perfect. Every project feels different and you have no idea how long the design part will take you. Not only is that super inefficient and hard to delegate, it's also costing you so much more than time and money. And that's where Web Designer Anthology comes in. It's a design methodology inside of a membership that gives you access to repeatable design systems that give you back your time. Think conversion structured website templates, homepage and sales page formulas, strategic design assets, and an AI assistant trained to quickly turn your client's content into conversion-centered designs. Web Designer Anthology is not a template shop. It's a membership that gives you access to design assets backed by strategy, made by an enterprise-level UX designer who knows that high-performing designers don't start from scratch or rely on creative inspiration. They rely on design systems. So instead of hoping for inspiration to come at the right time or reinventing your process on every project, Web Designer Anthology gives you access to systems-backed design assets that empower you to work faster, make more, and actually be able to scale. So just go to webdesigneranthology.com/podcast to learn more. And profitable web designer listeners get your first month free with code Shannon. That's webdesigneranthology.com/podcast and use code Shannon to get your first month free.
What if you could triple your prices without changing anything else about what you're selling other than how you're packaging, pricing, and presenting it? This week on the podcast, I'm talking to April Blair of Lexington Creative. She's one of our Web Designer Academy students, and we work together one-on-one inside of my 90-day shift business coaching container. And in episode 195 of the podcast, April's sharing how one coaching conversation changed the way she priced her services and changed everything she believed about how much she could charge. So check out this clip of my conversation with April and then go listen to the full episode, number 195, to get the whole story.
You're one of my favorite stories to tell about how you were like, I charged 3 times more than I was going to charge, and they didn't even blink an eye. So tell me a little bit more about like what you thought about what you could charge before and then after.
And this is interesting because like now that it's basically corporate clients, like I'm authentic to myself now. It's completely different, like with my own company, but it is still the corporate mindset. So it's a little different than some of, I think, your other like clients and people in the group. So yeah, I had this person reach out and I've known them for 20 years or so. And they're like, oh, I saw you were doing web design. I want you to quote our website. And it happened like, I think that same week of our first call, right? It had to be like kismet, let's be. So I know for sure, like just based on other ones I've done for the marketing firm friend of mine, that I would have quoted it at like $3,500, right? Like, which would have been an insane amount of work for that. But I didn't feel like I had the value to be able to charge them. I knew that I'd be doing that amount of work, but in my brain, that just seemed like a number that people say for websites, like 3,500 to 5,000. Like that's what a starter website costs. And I was like, why would they want to pay me more than that? Like I just started this business. And so I would try to deliverable stuff, which is what you talk about. Like basically you just keep, and I'm still prone to do that. So I have to catch myself. I just kept putting more deliverables in there to make it feel like it was worth the price that they're going to pay. And you're like, well, let me challenge you to try the package matrix, which I mentioned the corporate thing because it doesn't work as well in corporate. They actually have ended up going for my highest package. So I've adjusted it based on that, which is different than like a lot. I know it's not a bad problem to have, and it's different than a lot of fields. But one of the things I knew about aviation was they're too busy to do a lot of the work themselves. So that's why they like the done for you package. So anyways, I end up quoting this project at 15,500, I think. I did quote 3 tiers. One was like, you do most of the work, the way that I'm sure everyone's heard it. But they're like, no, we want you to do everything and we'll happily pay this amount. And I was like, I know you guys can't see my face, but I was just like, what? Like how I would have charged $3,500 to this website, which would be insane. But I did not feel like I brought the value to be able to do that. And I will say this too, a lot of it is because certain things feel easy to me. And this is still hard, but Shannon and I worked through this and I truly believe it, but it is not easy to feel that way. Just because it's easy doesn't mean that there isn't value that you bring in it. And a lot of the reason it might be easy is because you've done it for the last 20 years and you've spent that time learning and growing and schooling and all those different things. But like when it's easier for you to do, or it doesn't feel like you're banging your head against a wall, it feels like someone shouldn't be paying you as much for it, which is obviously not, well, now I say obviously not the case, but it didn't feel like the case then. For some reason, and this is a corporate thing too, I felt like work had to be hard. I wasn't supposed to like it, and I wasn't doing a good job if I wasn't hustling, working 60 hours a week, which is crazy. Why would anybody want to live like that? So really, like when I took a step back and was like, well, if I want to make this much money, serve these clients, do these things, I have to be at a rate that makes sense. And the value that they're getting out of the project is tenfold or 20-fold or whatever. So yeah, I like over tripled what I sold that for purely because we were doing coaching. I'm not exaggerating. That is the case. And honestly, it was worth more than that. Like now looking back, I can see it was worth more than that. And I did deliverable stuff just a tiny bit. Stuff I like, so it's not so bad. But just the pricing mindset stuff. When I was talking about mindset stuff earlier, I didn't even mean the pricing mindset. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like my personal mindset of running this business or providing this service.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.